Rockhopper here, and I'm about to embark on a kayak journey of several days in the hopes of finding a surreal place that's only been seen once since 1969. And it looks like this year it just might be visible again. Hey cool, check this out. It's like a sea cave, but it's on a lake. And it even has mussels clinging to the sides of the rock. Freshwater mussels. Man, it is bright out here. I'm about 1.5 miles into the paddle, and I'm realizing there's a few things you really got to be aware of. One is, you want to try and stick to the main channel because there are numerous branches, numerous arms of the river that could lead you astray. And another thing is, you got to be aware of these boats because they're coming at you about 30 miles an hour or so. And I don't think they're expecting a kayak away from the main areas. And the other thing is you got to be aware of the wake that those boats create. So you gotta, it may seem like just a lake, but you kind of gotta keep an eye out for things out here. I found this nice little cove here for my break, and only got about 34 miles left to go to get to the cathedral. The cathedral in the desert. That was a nice little break. Time to get back to paddling. Right now, I have a bit of a tailwind, and it's helping me out. Nice to have. Moving right along. It's just a choppy mess out here. The wind is blowing, and spray is coming up over the bow. And sometimes, I'm even going backwards. Only about 4 miles into the kayak trip and already got some water issues happening, even though I have everything wrapped up in plastic bags and a dry bag. Moisture has gotten into some things, and this shirt was soaked, so I put it on me. 5 minutes later it's pretty much dry because it's like 104, 105 out here with very little humidity. And this dry bag here, not doing so well. There's a tiny bit of moisture that got in, and I'm trying to protect my good camera. This dry bag was practically new, and I used my other swimsuit here to mop up the water in the back of the boat. And I'm at a pretty little cove, let me show you that. Yeah, it's a nice little spot right here. Little sandy, muddy-ish beach. Rocks all around. Pretty cool. Time to get back in the water. I think maybe there's a camp spot in here somewhere. Let's have a look. Alrighty, we are here, home for the night. Dinner is on right there, and the tent is back there, and the river is right there. So it's a pretty sweet setup, and some nice scenery here, and the boaters have gone home, so there's peace and quiet now. And it's a nice place to be and just chill. It's morning. The water is calm, and the mergansers are out fishing. This was my bed last night. A thermarest with a little pillow and just a sheet was all that was necessary because it was so hot for most of the night. Good morning. I got some sleep, but it wasn't the best sleep because the wind was just kicking all the way up till probably midnight, and the tent was flapping and smacking my head, and I woke up several times. Eventually did get some pretty good sleep, but it took a while. and now it's really calm in the morning. It was really warm last night. I think the temperature may have gotten down to about 80, maybe a little lower, but I kind of doubt it. Let's step outside of the tent and have a look at the world. The fish are jumping. And then the quiet was broken. All right, it's time to get back in the water for the second day of paddling. Calmer in the morning, but that'll all change as the wind picks up. Another sunny, nice, hot day. And it's pretty good kayaking so far. It's not been too choppy. The wind hasn't really kicked in yet. So it's been pretty good, and I'm trying to stay toward the edge here, not cross the channels where the boats are coming through. Trying to be safe about that. I try to keep the paddles when I do cross, if I do. I did a couple times yesterday, about as high as I can get them in the air so the boats can see me. That's pretty cool, like an alcove of rock with water going in it. 25 years ago, that probably wouldn't even have been visible. It would have been underwater. Pretty cool rock formations all around this region. Here's the view from the bow. There goes a boat. People out having fun. Some of them are water skiing like this guy over here. These rock forms are pretty amazing. Time for a little break. We're heading to this little cove right up here, a little sandy beach area here. Here we go. And we're ashore. Nice little spot for a break. There's all these lizards running around on these nearly vertical rocks. One slip, and these guys are in the drink. Speaking of the drink, it's time for me to get in it and cool off. Oh yeah. Woo. Nice. Better now. Much better. Look at that big rock overhanging the lake. Can you see a face in it? Mother Nature is dishing me out another helping of chop suey. At least it's served up hot. I think they call that mountain there the Rincon. If so, we're making decent progress. My kayak speed depends largely on water and wind conditions. If it's calm, I'm doing pretty much like a moderate walk speed, about 2.5 miles an hour. If the wind is blowing against me, a big headwind, I'm doing maybe 1 mile an hour. If I have a tailwind, it goes to about 3 miles an hour, maybe 3.5, sometimes 4. I think these mussels that are dead everywhere that you see are zebra mussels. And if so, they're supposedly a real menace to waterways. They clog up intake pipes and all sorts of things. And there's like billions of them around here. Time for a lunch break. Another shot of the Rincon from a different angle. I think it's best to stop a little earlier than usual. I'll show you why. Up ahead are sheer cliffs on each side. Here, see them here? And there's no telling how far they go. They could go for miles, and that would make it difficult for camping if there's nothing but sheer cliffs. Looks like the houseboat people are coming, so it's gonna make for competition for the coves here. So yes, it became a competition. As I was kayaking toward the coves that I had scoped out earlier, the people with the houseboats had somebody in a boat shoot ahead of me and put somebody on land and claim the spot, and the jet skiers shot ahead of me on the other cove that I had scoped out. So I've still got a little cove, but not the ones I was hoping for. So they got that one, and they got that one. So as I was saying, the reason for stopping earlier was because this place here has numerous sheltered coves, and it's unknown what's ahead and whether there will be camping spots, so it's best to take advantage of these that are here while they're here. So this will be my little cove. Don't really need much because I'm in a kayak, right? This will be home for the second night. Not too bad. Day 3, morning. These coves, while sandy, were not sheltered at all, as it turns out. The wind here can be ferocious, and last night it was. It pulled the tent right up, even though it was staked down in the sand, and it had a few things inside the tent to weigh it down. Those things flew out the door, and the tent flew over the hill here and into the water while I was gathering some firewood. Luckily, the houseboat people there saw it and pulled it from the edge of the lake. Yeah, that wind comes in strong. Starts hitting hard about 4 in the afternoon and keeps on going to about 10 p.m. or so. And when I say strong, I mean like 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, creating little sandstorms. And the night before, had a little mishap then too. I had put my thermarest down on the ground and turned my back, was putting up the tent. Thermarest rolled down into the lake. And it was rolling on the river. But it was only at the edge, and I plucked it out okay. Time to slather on some sunblock. Forget about shaving. Out here, it might actually give me a little bit of sun protection having some stubble on there. But put some sunblock on the face here. Unfortunately, the wind's already kicking in. I'm hoping to make it to Cathedral in the Desert today. And what Cathedral in the Desert is this huge alcove of rock. And it has this waterfall coming right down in the middle of it. And it hasn't been seen in its entirety since 2005, when the lake level was really low and it was exposed and people could go there and see it. And it's only been seen that one time since 1969, when after the Glen Canyon Dam was put in and it flooded this entire area, an area which was full of archaeological sites, pictographs, petroglyphs, all kinds of things were here. The hanging gardens of ferns in the canyons, and there were just a lot of canyons that were just fascinating to explore. But they're all underwater now, or they were, and some of them are being exposed now. And he thought it was just so amazing that he kind of compared it to a cathedral, I guess. And the It's about 35 miles, river miles from where I started in Hall's Crossing. This is the third day and I am getting kind of tired. Using muscles I guess I haven't used because I'm getting sore in spots that I wasn't really even thinking about. And so I hope to get down the river and find a good place to camp tonight. I see all these motorboats passing me, houseboats, jet skis, and sometimes I think I wish I could get there a little faster than just paddling the kayak. But you know, after a couple days of kayaking, I kind of just got into the flow of it all. And I realized this is like slow food for the soul. Just being out here, just slowly cruising along, seeing every little detail, hearing all the sounds and smelling the scents, and just really absorbing everything that's around me. All right, let's head on out. Start out day 3. Let's get on the water. I actually have a tailwind this morning, which is amazingly good news. That tailwind didn't last long. Pretty calm right now. I'm thankful I had at least 15 minutes of tailwind. Wind has been pretty much my nemesis thus far. Those headwinds are just pretty brutal. If you stop paddling, you actually get blown backwards, and you put in twice as much effort to go half the speed. So that's just kind of the way it is out here, and the wind can change in an instant, directional wise. So my observation of last night turned out to be correct. There's just a wall of cliffs on each side, probably for miles, so there wouldn't have been much of any place to camp if I had continued. Do you think these rock walls are pretty? They're big, that's for sure. The walls go straight up, right over my head. Sometimes it feels like I'm kayaking on the ocean. Especially when you see a boat like that. It does remind me of the ocean. Especially with these walls of mussels that look like barnacles from a distance. Catfish. It's not what's for dinner. Not this one anyway. There's all sorts of fish right through here. I don't know if you can see them. Let's go underwater. It's time for break. My arms are tired and my butt is just as tired, if not more so, from sitting on this hard seat. So let's check out this little cove here and head up in there and have a break. That sun is just searing on my legs. I mean, it's just like they're under a heat lamp or something. I can just feel them burning. This is an interesting looking little cove. Look at these trees. Or what used to be trees. Let's pull on in here. Wow, this place is a trip. It's like there was life here at one time and there is no more. These trees were probably alive before the water created by the dam came up and killed them. What's this? Even the baseball cap's dead. We'll just hang it there for now. Maybe somebody needs a baseball cap. The only sign of life here is this lizard. A whole lot of caves on that other side there. Can you see a heart in that rock wall? Check this thing out up ahead. It's a floating outhouse and a boat pump-out station. It's the Escalante Floating Restroom. They had another one similar to this up at Rincon. So I guess judging by the outhouse, we have made it to the mouth of the Escalante River and reached the Escalante Canyon, which we're going to go up. So that's the Escalante arm there, where we will find, hopefully, Cathedral in the desert. I just got to get across this channel here and get past the traffic, like this houseboat right here. Yep, we are here. Now we just have to find the Cathedral in the desert. Up this canyon somewhere. A look at Escalante River Canyon here. We just took a turn off to Clear Creek here. Getting a bit more narrow up ahead. Tight squeeze coming up. No problem. Alright, we're getting close. I think that just might be it up ahead there. Could this be it? Let's check it out. We're going in there. There it is. Cathedral in the desert. I have found the Cathedral in the desert, complete with waterfall right in the middle of it all. If adventure is my religion and nature is my church, I have found a holy place indeed. As far as I know, this place, till now, has only been seen once since 1969. This second time, it could all be gone. The water level in Lake Powell rises again. This was submerged for years. From 1969 till 2005, when the water level dropped low enough for people to see this again. And now you're seeing it for just the second time since 1969. So here you go. So this place was completely underwater, underneath the waters of Lake Powell, until the drought conditions made it so dry that the water level dropped, and this place became visible again, as it is right now. Third night's camp right by the river, literally like 4 feet from the river. Dinner is ready. Tent is pitched. Got a little fire back there, but it kind of went out. And look at what is behind me. Look at this monstrous wall. Good morning. The sun is coming up over the top of the wall of the canyon. I just got majorly startled when I went to grab that sock, and that big spider right there came crawling out just about over my hand. One big spider. One big furry spider. Yeah. That's how I started my morning. Yeah, I just came in and I reached down for the sock, and whoop, he came running right out. You gotta get on your way, buddy. I don't want you riding along with me. Okay, bud, let's see, let's just put you, okay, alright, bud, alright, hey, well, okay, I'm gonna have to put the camera down. It's gonna be a two-handed operation. He is not too happy right now. I got my little wake up with the big spider there. And it's a slight breeze today. It hasn't been as hot. Past couple days, probably been in the mid to upper 90s instead of in the hundreds. So that's nice. It's the beginning of the 4th day of kayaking. This, believe it or not, is my first time doing a multi-overnight kayak trip. I've never tried doing an overnighter with a kayak before. They've only been just day treks. How am I feeling? Well, after 3 days of kayaking, in a nutshell, I'm feeling hot, tired, hungry, thirsty, and sore. Wow, that sun is bright. Ooh. And I'm feeling sunburned, mainly on the legs. But I also have a few little blisters on my hands. My lips are feeling really chapped. Wish I had thought to bring my lip balm. Oh well, there's always something you forget, right? But I'm happy to be out here. There are a lot worse places to be, and a lot worse ways to start your day. Got my little lizard buddy here hanging out right next to the kayak. Thankfully, there wasn't a lot of wind last night. It was really pretty calm. Maybe because I'm not in the main canyon, I'm in the Escalante River Canyon, side canyon. What was really cool last night was there were a bunch of bats flying around me and my tent. I even held the flashlight out just right by the tent to attract insects, and the bats would come in like just a foot away from the tent, start catching them. So that was pretty fun, kind of entertaining. Entertainment in the wilderness. As the reservoir level goes down, life returns, like this cottonwood seedling. Hopefully nothing crawled within the kayak and is going to jump out at me while I'm paddling. It's time to get rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. My paddles'll keep on churning, and my skin's gonna keep on burning as I'm rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Back at the cathedral for another look this morning. I wanted to come back to see if the lighting was any different. Aside from a sliver of blue sky, there really isn't much difference. Just a touch of sunlight on the wall is the only difference. Some people come to the cathedral for its scenic natural beauty, and other people come to play baseball. Home run. I've just been invited to join these guys over the houseboat for some lunch. Okay, I've just been invited by some really friendly people to come on to the houseboat and have some lunch. There's some of them, most of them are from Davis High School, and one is from Clearfield, and we've got some people here from Holiday, Utah. Hey!
Rockhopper right here, man.
Sandwiches and Gatorade and water. And these are the guys who are playing baseball. Yeah.
That's us.
Okay, thanks a bunch, you guys. We'll see you later. Yeah. Bye. See you guys later. Have fun. So just because we've seen Cathedral in the desert doesn't mean the trip's over. I've got some good surprises coming up for you. So keep watching. The guys on the houseboat said I needed to go and have a look at a huge arch that's just another canyon or two over, so I'm heading over that way to see if I can find it. I'm not sure where this arch is or how far away it is, but we'll give it a shot. This is not the canyon with the arch, apparently, but it does have some interesting dead trees which are like bizarre works of art. I just talked to some people on Houseboat asking about the Lagore Arch that Paul had mentioned, and they said it's like another 3 canyons down. So I think being that that's going to be pretty much an all-day event to get there, or, to get there and back to where I'm at right now or so, I think it's best that I probably just turn around because I have a limited amount of supplies. So I have to keep that in mind. And I could, survive out here, but it's called survival, not abundance. And it would be slim pickings, and I'm burning a lot of calories kayaking. So it might be a good idea to head back down toward the main channel of the Colorado. And here's some of the scenery here. And these big walls right here. Besides, I've seen lots of arches before. I've enjoyed the Escalante River arm of Lake Powell. It's been a nice little side trip. It's a little more laid back somehow, not as wide, a little bit less boat traffic and whatnot. And it's every bit as scenic as the main channel of Lake Powell, if not more. See where that top of that rope is? I think that was once where the lake level was, and the lake has dropped significantly. I'm going to say maybe 100 feet. Walking along the shore, I found this old Coke bottle, and on the bottom It said Lowell, Massachusetts. You gotta wonder how long this thing's been sitting at the bottom of the lake. 30, 40 years? Longer? And then I saw this. It's a Sanyo. AM/FM cassette player, probably from the 1980s. The mussels made a home out of it. I'm here with Paul, and Paul is one of the few people who ran the Colorado River prior to the Glen Canyon Dam being built. So tell us a little bit about what that was like and what you did, Paul.
Well, first of all, we met Brian today as he was coming up the Escalante, and we hailed him over and have had an interesting conversation with him. But in about 1961, I came down the river with my dad and some other people, and we stopped at the various side canyons. Each of them had a lot of greenery and beautiful trees, many pools of water and little running streams is what I remember as a young man, where you could swim and enjoy just a beautiful country. So we have loved this area ever since. I've run the river a couple of different times after that. The last time that I ran it seriously was in 1969 with Ken Slight. That was a great trip. But we're here with our family today. We enjoy Lake Powell. We love this scenery, so thanks, Brian.
Hey, thank you. And what did you find? You said you found like corn cobs and...
We did. We went to many ruins, and it's like somebody, in many of the impression I had as a young man was that people had lived there and then they just got up and left. There were pots and there were baskets, remnants of baskets and corn cobs in these, their houses. And so it was really interesting. We didn't take any of it, but there was a lot of stuff left over in the various places we stopped.
And so you found entire Indian ruins there?
Yeah.
Were they fairly intact?
From what I can remember as a young man, yeah, places that you could imagine them having sat in little houses.
So some of those houses and things were still visible.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And of course, when the dam went in, it's all underwater.
It is. Today we went up to a ruin that's out of the water that you can still see, that's very beautiful. But I'm going to turn you over to my daughter, Lindsay.
Okay, well, thanks, Paul. It's great hearing your story. So Lindsay here, she knows all about how ferocious the wind and the weather can get, right, Lindsay?
Yes, yeah. We were here 5 years ago in what they said was the largest, biggest recorded microburst in history of them recording the wind, and it hit us about an 80-mile-an-hour gust, and a houseboat in our bay got hit and all of its anchors pulled out, and it got pushed up against the beach and actually tipped over, and a woman who was in the houseboat actually had her arm cut off from that houseboat tipping over. It was a pretty intense storm. It was pretty crazy. So, yeah.
And there's other things that happen, like boat sinking and everything?
Yeah. We've been, actually, one time we were here and we watched them pull houseboats out of the water that we'd been in the storm the night before, and there were probably about 6 or 7 houseboats that sank that time. Ski boats. Yeah. The craziest thing I think we've ever seen is when we came around a corner one time and they were pulling an airplane out of the water that had crashed. into the lake. So, yeah, that was a cool thing to see.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And so the wind gets so strong here, it actually blew out some windows, is that?
Yes, yeah. So the houseboat that we were on, it pulled all of our anchors out. But then also, when that gust hit us, our whole front glass door exploded through the whole houseboat. And it was about the scariest thing that I've ever been in. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I thought my tent flying away up over the hill into the lake was bad. These guys invited me to come back by for breakfast, so maybe I should just stop on by. We'll see. We are now heading up Indian Creek, which is not far from Clear Creek, where Cathedral in the Desert is. Wow, this is pretty cool, this canyon here. Looks like I might have my own private beach tonight. Coming in for a landing. We are here. What do you guys think? Not too shabby, huh? Look at all this at the end of Indian Creek Canyon. There's hanging gardens of ferns here. I think this is the most sheltered, calm, and quiet spot I've found yet. Got my own private little beach right here. Looking at my leg, right there, that area, that's really sunburned. I've started to wear little socks around, protect my ankles a bit, but they didn't go up that high, I guess. So the people you just met, Paul and Lindsay, they saw me kayaking not too far from their houseboat, passing by, and they kind of yelled something like, hey, how you doing? And I started chatting with them for a minute, and they had me come up and sit down, and started me off by giving me a cookie, and then they gave me a few other munchies, which was really sweet, really nice of them to do that, and that led to an invite for breakfast. Something I've learned about water people since jet skiing and having the kayak more recently, and I guess maybe even going back to my days on the water as a child on a sailboat on occasion, is that water people are good people. They're kind, they're generous, they're helpful people. Can you hear that sound? That shrill sound of all these midges? Home sweet home for night number 4. And I have to say, it is pretty sweet. Good morning and welcome to day 5 of the kayak trip down Lake Powell. So today I'll be leaving the Escalante Arm and heading to the main channel, which is not too far away, and then heading back to Hall's Crossing, which will take probably 2, maybe 2.5 days or so. At the very end of Indian Creek Canyon is a weeping wall. We are heading out of Indian Creek Canyon now. So, what do you think I'm gonna have for breakfast? Do you think it's gonna be a handful of peanuts and a couple granola bars? If you thought that, you win! Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Wrong answer! I'm here with these guys with got sausage, hash browns, bacon, pancakes, and great company. You think I'm gonna pass that up? Forget about it! Are you kidding me? Well, that was a great breakfast. Thank you, guys. I'll see you later.
See you. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a delightful breakfast, and I enjoyed having good company. Nice way to start out the day. So now I'm heading over to the main channel, the Colorado River Channel. There's the houseboat. Paul and Lindsay and the gang. And compared to that wall, that houseboat looks pretty small. At the moment, kayaking is good. The water is glassy. Well, I wish it was all like this. This is where the Escalante River arm meets the main channel of the Colorado River. I'm paddling north, upstream, so to speak, and maybe my wish is coming true. The water is calm, and I'm paddling on the more westward side, the opposite side of the one I came down. Those headwinds that were smacking me down so fiercely when I was heading toward the dam are now working in my favor as tailwinds. Dagnabbit, Buford, how many times I gotta tell you? The boats are supposed to be kept horizontal, not vertical. Doggone it. Here at Big Bubba's Boat Restoration, we make all our boats look almost as good as new. Like this one. Comes with everything, even the kitchen sink. Mussel and crustacean finish at no extra charge. Have a look at this spacious interior. It's got a Motorola stereo system with speakers. This is our finely refurbished Mercury Strato Cruiser. You're gonna love it. Look, we got cash buyers coming in right now. We are now entering Slick Rock Canyon. I think I found my camp spot. Straight ahead and look straight up. That's what I'll be camping beneath. We are here. There are some pretty amazing camping spots out here, like this. My sunburn is as red as my paddle blade. I'm about to begin the 6th day of paddling. How am I feeling? Sunburned and crispy, like a kettle-cooked potato chip. My arms are pretty sore and shoulders as well. Last night, it was hard for me to lift my hands over my head. My lips are chapped and sore. But they would be in excruciating pain if not for that couple, remember from Holiday, Utah, the first houseboat. I mentioned that I'd forgotten my chapstick and I was paying the price, and she managed to find a brand new little tube of lip balm to give me, and I have been putting that stuff on like every few hours ever since she gave it to me. And I would be in really bad shape without it, so thank you very much for that. It's definitely going to be another hot one, probably in the hundreds today. I went to grab my camera and it was so hot I could hardly hold it. And it's morning right now. So will I make it to Hall's Crossing today? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows what the winds are doing? Could be a big factor. The sun is very intense out here in the desert, as you can probably imagine. And I am getting very brown. And if you look at my other arm here, see where I have the glove on while kayaking. And then there's a line, and this is just really reddish brown. So it can be quite a scorcher out here. And got a few blisters. One right there, and there, a couple in there from paddling. Day 6 starts out like this. Very nice. And hot and sunny. Alright, well, let's get to it. Looks like a tailwind may carry me home today. We'll see. Right now I'm just cruising along, enjoying this nice tailwind. Choppy and a little sloppy. You'd think having a 30-mile-an-hour tailwind would help a lot. And I would have thought so too, but not as much as I would have hoped, because it's churning the water into like an ocean type of thing, and it's just tossing the boat all around. So I'm kind of struggling at times to keep a line, a good line going on, and the boat's just bouncing around. And yeah, it's not as advantageous as I might have first thought. Having a 10-mile-an-hour tailwind is pretty nice, but having a 20 or 30-mile-an-hour tailwind, not so good. And if you have a headwind that's coming at you at 20 or 30 miles an hour, really, really not good. Feels a little intimidating, kayaking against this big wall of cliffs. Here's what I took along on the kayak trip. Shelter and bedding, tent, small pillow, fleece sleeping bag, very lightweight, Thermarest inflatable mattress pad, clothing and footwear, the aqua shoes I have on, the swimsuit I have on, lightweight, cotton poly, short sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve, 100% cotton t-shirt, pair of wool socks, pair of cotton socks, extra pair of water shoes, another swimsuit, and a lightweight windbreaker just in case it got cold, like there was a thunderstorm or something that came through. But I never needed to use it, it was just way too hot. And a cotton sheet, of course, my hat, waterproof camera, water purifier, knife, flashlight, lighter, paddling gloves, water bottle holder, 2 water bottles, pot gripper, spoon, and fork. Toiletries such as toilet paper, you got sunscreen, you got your toothbrush, toothpaste, earplugs for those windy nights when the tent is flapping and snapping and you can't get to sleep, which I used a couple times, dry bag, extra plastic bags, and a map showing the lake. And some dental floss. Food for dinners. I brought about 5 of these rice packets along, about 3 of these heat and eat meals, just in case it rained or I couldn't find any firewood. I could just eat them right from the packet. I got some chicken breasts in a package. I brought along some sticks of cheese as well as a block of cheese for my crackers. I brought 2 of these almond bags, and about 5 of these small peanut jars, several energy bars, dried fruit, various kinds, chicken sticks, thing of raisins, a couple bags of chips, and some of these chicken bites here. Things that would keep and not go bad, and were sealed enough for the most part that if they got a little wet, it wouldn't hurt them. You're going to burn up a lot of calories paddling, so things like nuts and cheese are good because they do have a lot of calories. Portable solar charger to charge up the cameras while I'm in the wilderness. And a cup I found along the shore to bail out water from the kayak. And the tripod. The total damage tally, severely chapped lips, some cuts on my hands, and some pretty bad sunburn in spots. And about 6 blisters. After only a couple of days, I became more proficient at reading the river's surface. If there were a lot of little waves, small, closely spaced, I could tell that's where the headwinds were blowing. So I would look for glassy seams to thread between them. If you're looking for abundant red rock beauty, this is a good place, Lake Powell. If you're looking for peace and solitude, however, maybe not so much. There seemed to be a semi-endless cacophony of motor noise from all the boats. People out having fun, water skiing, jet skiing, speedboating, whatever. People differ in the ways they like to recreate out here. Some like to vacation in houseboats. Some come to speedboat, water ski, jet ski, wakeboard, and so on. Others come to hike into side canyons and thread through slot canyons. Then there are those who, like myself, come to kayak. All of us share a commonality, a love for this region called Glen Canyon. As the water level of Lake Powell, which is not a lake at all but rather a man-made reservoir, continues to drop, there are advantages and disadvantages. Certainly there is less water surface to navigate upon, but these diminishing water levels also mean there's more land to explore. Canyons that haven't had footprints in them for decades become accessible. Ancient petroglyphs might be visible again. Gregory Natural Bridge, America's second largest, is starting to re-emerge. I was just a tiny speck on a massive body of water hundreds of feet deep, with enormous cliffs towering above me, all of it surrounded by a vast desert. Water had challenged my strength, my endurance, but it also offered me freedom. The paddle blades became my wings, and I rekindled my explorer's spirit, living life to the fullest once again. One mishap could ruin my entire day, or more. Out here it was easy to contemplate my mortality and insignificance. I was but a drop of rain in the desert. But when you think about it, aren't we all just drops of water in the ocean of life? Humans have been trying to control and manipulate the Colorado River system for nearly a century. But as the 20-year drought in the West continues, the ultimate decider of the destiny of the river will be Mother Nature herself. And she will have the final say. I hope you enjoyed traveling along with me on this week-long kayak journey down Lake Powell and to Cathedral in the desert and other places as well. You keep on subscribing and I'll keep taking you on adventures like this one. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be informed every time I upload a new video. Until next time, this is a Rockhopper. I'll see ya.